From the Nebraska Soybean Board Studios, I'm Alex Makovica with a look at today's midday market activity. And joining us is Arlan Suderman, Chief Commodities Economist at StoneX, to break down some factors influencing today's trade. The big headline is a quote unquote trade deal with China. Arlan, when you look at that from the commodity standpoint, what does it mean for American agriculture?
Yeah, first, let's keep in perspective that anymore when you see a headline of a trade deal, it doesn't mean what we used to think of a broad trade deal that's going to be passed by Congress. This is an incremental agreement between China and the United States. Their differences are very vast. Probably they're further apart today than they were 2 months ago. But to their credit, what they're doing is they're finding areas every time they have high level meetings. They're finding areas they can agree on. And so they're making incremental progress. So talking is better than not talking. And so what they've agreed to do now is roll back the tariffs to 55% for the US. That's the baseline 10% reciprocal tariff. That's a 20% fentanyl tariff and 25% of other tariffs that were already pre-existing in there. And China gets 10%. Now, I assume that's 10% on top of what they already normally charge for various commodities to all countries. And so that continues. That still kind of blocks ag commodities. I don't see that changing until we get a much bigger trade agreement where they would agree to buy U.S. commodities in exchange for more favorable access to the U.S. consumer market. But it is good for our retailers to be able to stock up supplies before the Christmas holiday. It's therefore the markets reacted positively this morning.
Arlan, one thing perhaps the commodities are watching a little bit closer. Inflation numbers came out this morning, lower than what analysts kind of were expecting. What is the trade watching?
Yeah, still above the 2% mandate, but and even a slight increase some case, but the month on month only up 0.1%. Even remove food and energy, which was prices are going down for energy, still looking good overall. We'll probably see higher inflation down the road, but this kind of eases concerns on Wall Street.
Okay, sounds good. Arlan Suderman, Chief Commodities Economist, will join us this afternoon in the Channel Final Bell to break down all things impacting trade today. And again, you can tune in on our rural radio network stations. I'm Alex Makovica from the Nebraska Soybean Board Studios.